Greetings, I'm Dr. Sean Reed, author of the Dating Toolbox, available on Amazon.com. Today I want to talk about a very important topic, and that topic is the irrational fear of women that many men have. This irrational fear of opening, of starting conversations, of talking to women. Men must overcome this fear, and today I will explain how to do so and why that fear is so irrational. Okay, so really, in order to understand this fear, we must understand how it evolved. Fear is an evolutionary survival response. So fear is rooted in evolution. Fear is rooted in evolutionary psychology and evolutionary biology. Fear served a very important function. Basically, it kept us alive. So during prehistoric times, you would see a lion and say, oh, shoot, run, bear, run. Or what men would do back then is there would be 10 of them with long sticks with pointy, sharp objects on the end, and they would maybe try and kill the lion or run from the lion. But fear served a very important function in terms of keeping humans alive. So that's why for hundreds of thousands of years, fear evolved, and it's a rational response very often to dangerous situations. Fear of women evolved because for 99.9% of human existence, we lived in these small hunter-gatherer groups where you'd have maybe 30, 35 people in your clan, and you have a very limited number of women, maybe 4 or 5 women that were your age that you could hopefully mate with, and maybe only 1 or 2 of them were attractive. So the fear back then was if you were not successful with this woman, you would be doomed to a life of no attractive women to bond with. So this fear evolved over hundreds of thousands of years for a very rational reason. However, I'm telling you that this fear is no longer rational. Let me repeat. Your fear of women, your fear of approaching and starting conversations with women is totally irrational, because in today's world, we mostly live in large urban areas. Where I live, there are 4 million people. There are 2 million women, and maybe only 300,000 or 400,000 of those women will be age appropriate, and maybe even only 100,000 of those women will be attractive and have the personality and disposition necessary in order to have a long-term relationship. But we're still talking about more than 100,000 women. If you get shot down by 1 woman, you still have nearly 100,000 women to choose from. So this fear of approaching, this fear of starting conversations with women in today's modern society is totally irrational. There is no dang sense whatsoever in being afraid of starting conversations with women. There is no rational reason to fear opening women. This fear, like I said, is rooted in outmoded times. This fear is rooted in a time when there were only 4 or 5 women in your lifetime that would be available for you to mate with. Today, that's no longer the case. So if you go up and you approach a woman and she rejects you, what do you lose? You lose nothing. Absolutely zero. And as a matter of fact, you gain confidence, because if you're able to open a woman, I know a guy the other day, he went and he had this gal he wanted to open, and he finally opened her. He opened her, and it turns out he had a boyfriend. And he comes back to me and he says, oh, I'm so demoralized. I'm so crushed. Why? Why, I ask him, what have you actually lost, right? You have lost nothing. And in fact, you gain the confidence of opening her and starting a conversation. You successfully opened her. She talked to you. She wanted to talk to you. She probably would have given you her phone number had she not had a boyfriend. So really, that's a success. Keep doing that. Keep doing that every day. And very soon, one of these gals is not going to have a boyfriend. One of these gals is going to want to give you her phone number. One of these gals is going to want to date you. And before you know it, you will have a list of phone numbers. Before you know it, you will have a number of women that you will be dating successfully. And this confidence builds. It builds. So for me, for example, I'm 62 years old. I no longer care at all. I've talked about the fact that my wife is a girl boss, so sometimes my wife will be very busy. She'll be too busy to go out, and I want to go out dancing, or I want to go out and listen to some music. So I'll go with my wingman, my best friend Walter, and we will go to the club. Okay, now of course I'm not going to cheat on my wife, but I will ask women to dance with me. The other week I went out to the club. I asked a gal to dance with me. She said no. And of course you have to target age appropriate women. So I'm 62. I'm not targeting women that are 22. That's ridiculous, right? That probably would be embarrassing. But instead I do target women that are maybe 48, 47. And I'll ask women like that to marry me. And if one says no, and in fact, the other night one did say no. I asked her to dance. She said no, right in front of my friend Walter. 5 minutes later, I was dancing with another girl. That night, I ended up dancing with 3 or 4 women. So yes, I got rejected, but so what? I had a great time. I open women, and what that does is it gives me confidence. So that when I come home, my wife isn't the only woman in my world. So opening and talking to a woman is a skill that must be developed and maintained throughout your life. It's the foundation of confidence. Okay, so real quickly, there's lots of material on opening out there. There's a reason why there are 10,000 YouTube clips on opening, and I strongly encourage you to watch those clips. Do not limit yourself to one relationship coach. Do not limit yourself to one seduction coach. I encourage guys who read my video, guys who study my system, I encourage you to look at other coaches. But I will go over a couple things real briefly when it comes to opening women. One is looks. Like I said a couple minutes ago, I'm 62. I'm not that good looking anymore, so I'm not out there opening beautiful 22-year-old girls. Okay, that would be ridiculous. I am opening attractive women that are closer to my age. And yes, there are attractive women that are older. Okay, so first of all, you want to open women that are appropriate. So I know a guy who's 27. Gosh, women between the age of 19 and 29 are appropriate for him to open. Okay, and looks are important. The first thing that will happen when you approach a woman is she's going to assess you physically. That's why we're always working out. We're always eating right. We're taking care of our body. We're dressing properly. Right, guys? That's why we take care of our looks so that we can shoot as high as possible when it comes to opening, dating, and relationships. I've made this argument before. You generally can date 2 steps above your look. So if you're an average looking guy, you're a 6, you're going to open 7s and 8s, and you'll also open 6s. It's good to practice opening on women your age. So you can date women that are 6s, you can open women that are 7s, and you can even open women that are 8s. But looks are important, okay? So you want to maintain your looks. You want to dress well. You want to groom well. You want to hit the gym. You want to eat right, okay? These are all important lifestyle choices we need to make that in order to be successful with women. One last thing I'll mention when approaching is don't surprise women. Don't come up from behind and approach them and surprise them. That's a turnoff. Always approach either from the front or from the side. Always try and establish eye contact and smile. If you can get a woman to lock eyes with you and smile back for you, that is a clear indicator of interest, what is known as an IOI. That means she probably wants to talk to you. So we always approach in a way that's visible to women. We always make eye contact and we always smile. Okay, so that's not really an extensive video on approaching, but my point here is, guys, is you must not be afraid to approach. You must not be afraid to start conversations with women. It is your foundation for success. So if you like what you heard today, please hit the like and subscribe button, and good luck to you.